But I'm actually going to introduce you to a really great friend of mine. I'd say we've been friends for about 5 years. Okay, so how many of you know what my last business was? Marketing? Cruise director? 1, 2, 3 employee. Yeah, exactly. So I started a outsourcing company a long time ago, before anybody knew what the heck it was. And I told you, I can always say that you can always tell who the pioneers are because they're the ones with the arrows in their back. And that was us. But we made it. It turned out to be great. Today, we're part of a conglomerate with 6,000 employees globally. I'm still on the board, but I moved on. It was time for me to move on. But I know this business. I know it inside and out. And so I met a great amigo several years ago in Puerto Rico who is doing a similar biz, and I feel like he's really stepped it up, and I want to introduce you to him. So please welcome Maury Noon. Come on up, Maury. Woo!
Thank you.
Big round of applause. All right. Ray, next time we'll do a music bumper there. All right. Okay, I got too many mics here. How you doing, mi amigo? Good to see you, brother. All right. Were you in the club last night?
Yeah, but I called it early, around like midnight-ish.
I know you did. I know you like to stay up and have a good time, so I appreciate you coming in. So, buddy, so Maury's in the BPO business. Do you guys know what BPO is? BPO is business process outsourcing. So everything from like back office support. You guys do bookkeeping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telemarketing,
inbound, outbound, customer service. And I've been a big proponent of outsourcing, obviously, forever. I've been ringing that bell for a long time. So what's unique about Maury, what do you think in the outsourcing business, if you have a contact center, you're taking in inbound traffic, it's phone, what's probably one of the biggest obstacles that you face? By the way, if you're overseas. Language, accent, exactly, culture. So Maury's company is overseas. As a result, you pay less money, but they don't have any accents.
Exactly.
Super cool. Matter of fact, before we get into it and how we did that, or how you did that, let's roll a quick video. Can we do that real quick?
The reason why clients always choose to work with Envision is because we provide overqualified individuals who are hardworking. We get the job done no matter how many tasks in a short amount of time. We're efficient, we have punctuality, integrity, and we speak fluent English, so you can't even tell the difference between us and the natives. And we never take no for an answer.
Hi, my name is Gasio, and I think everyone should work with us because we provide the greatest quality service in the market. There is a stigma that outsourced call centers don't understand the American culture. However, here we can make sure to take great care of your customers and we'll know how to deal with them.
It's not just about the accent, but it's also about hiring people that are hardworking and dedicated to any objective that you give us. And also, it's not about achieving, it's not about where we think we can be in 5 years, but it's about showing you where we can take you within 5 years.
If you're looking for a hard-working company to get the job done, Envision is perfect for you.
So, Maury, how'd you get rid of the accent?
So basically, I was
AI.
No. So actually, it's funny because we've met people who've told us, hey, we actually have an accent neutralization software, and I told them that wouldn't get me to what I want because for me, okay, them not having the accent is great, but the main thing behind that is that they actually understand the US culture. So if you use AI to robotically change their accent, it doesn't solve the problem that they don't understand US culture. They'll still call you, hello, Mr. First Name.
Hello, Sir Maury.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Daven. And so basically I was living in Lebanon, which is where I started the BPO. I was a senior in university there at an American university there at the time. And that was when I noticed that a lot of the predominantly women there spoke American grade English because especially Gen Z and millennials, they grew up, on Instagram, TikTok, Netflix. And so yeah, that I didn't really make them speak that level of English. I found them and then I started introducing them to the U.S. market, and now we've expanded into other countries as well.
Yeah, so now you have hundreds and hundreds of employees. How many languages?
So we currently have a little bit over 1,000 staff, and we're supporting.
Now. You've been
we're supporting English, French, Spanish, Arabic, some Turkish, some Armenian, very little of the other languages, but the main two are really English, Spanish, and then the third place would be French.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think we have the video queued too. Let's give it a roll. Now, I know, Maury, that typically applications like probably about a minimum 10 employees up to hundreds or what have you. What if somebody just wants to have like a virtual assistant that is in on all of their calls and then handle all the follow-up on each call?
Yes, so we actually do have a minimum, which is we'll take on one full-time employee. So as long as you're committing to 40 hours a week, minus holidays or any bank holidays where it's expected for you to be closed, someone can hire one. They just have to tell us, hey, we want them from 9 to 5 East or 9 to 5 Pacific. And then what we'll actually do is, if they have a budget for one person, we'll give them 2 people for the price of one for the first 2 weeks. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, we'll let them decide which one they want to keep, which in the past, like we've had customers that are like, hey, I want 20 people. So I give them 40 for the price of 20. And then at the end of 2 weeks, they're like, oh, actually, we'll move forward with 32 of these. So
that's smart.
Yep.
I never thought of that. I should have thought of that. That's a good one. That's a good one. So how many of you have outsourced overseas before? Oh, wow. It's so crazy. Because, I mean, we started that. Our company, we started that business. I used to say, how many of you outsourced overseas? Nobody had their hand up. I'd say 70% of you put your hands up. So I'm sure that you have probably found, sometimes were there challenges in doing this? Yeah, okay. And typically, I can tell you, I've learned over the last decade and a half that it's really the challenges are, if I distill them down to the biggest ones, one is a lot of you are bad bosses. Okay, so we never take responsibility for our own actions, but that is the reality. And then 2 is that most of the time people hire an outsourced person overseas wanting them to be their chief strategist rather than them being a task executor, which is typically what happens. But your people can be strategists. They're high-level thinkers.
We've had our staff literally replace the COOs of companies. Our customer just never updated their email signature, so they don't expect a raise. Like they tell her, okay, you're the project manager now, but like they literally fired the COO and gave her all of the COO's responsibilities.
Who thinks that's really valuable? Who just had like a light bulb moment? So this idea of you had a COO, I would have to think minimum 60K.
80 to 120.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
Sure, okay. So you got a COO in place, and now you're getting them for like
30.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that's awesome. So, Maury, can you share with everyone just sort of a rundown of the things that they can do?
Yes. So one of the biggest objections we've gotten as a company is, we don't outsource. We keep everything internal. And what a lot of people have told me, they're like, Maury, you actually don't know how to properly describe your business because you call yourself an outsourced call center, but in reality, 99% of what I'm doing is I'm really being a virtual staffer. So what that means is you're outsourcing your recruitment department because I'm finding you the talent like you saw in the videos, and I'm also staying in the middle as the payroll provider. So I'm billing you and I'm paying them, so you don't have to deal with any of the HR, legal headache, insurance, taxes, blah, blah, blah. So in reality, are you really outsourcing? Like, yes, you're outsourcing overseas, but you don't feel like the staff are external to your organization. They're individual dedicated reps. So what that means is when people think, I'm using an outsourced call center, they think, okay, they're talking to some general vague manager, and then the vague manager is like the line of communication between the call center agents. But in this unique setup, no, you're talking to the agents as if they're your internal staff. They go on your Zoom meetings, they're onboarded to your email systems, your phone systems, your chat rooms. So like if there's an individual staff member that's underperforming, you could tell us, hey, she's not a good fit. We want to move forward without her. Please let her go. But if there's another one that is doing a great job, you could say, hey, we want to move her to this department. Can we bonus her $200? So again, you feel like they're your staff, and that's the disconnect a lot of people have because they don't want to feel like they're outsourcing, but you're not really outsourcing. So yeah, these people are doing outbound telemarketing, sales, appointment setting, closing deals, operations, customer support. Some of our biggest industries we work in are universities, like we're running their admissions office, their financial aid, their registrar, their advising. We're also doing law firm intakes, medical record retrieval, healthcare stuff, insurance transfers, which it's really anything that can be done from home, from a computer and a phone, we can do for you.
Fantastic. Okay, last question before we wrap up, Maury. So what we used to get a lot of in the Philippines, which is where we were based, was, are you paying your employees a fair wage? Like, so can you speak to that?
So to give some more breakdown about kind of like the history of our company, so we have 850 staff working out of the country of Lebanon, because that's where I started it. But now we've diversified into Ethiopia, Armenia, Turkey, South America, and a small Balkan presence. And one of the reasons we grew really fast was if I offered these jobs to the Lebanese people back in 2019, in all fairness, they would have spit in my face. But they got humbled because, so what happened was you had, let's say, the head of nursing at the American University of Beirut Hospital. She used to make $4,500 US a month. But then Lebanon had an economic collapse because the banks there stole everyone's money and the currency hyperinflated. So now you have the head of nursing at like the most elite hospital in the region. She used to make $4,500 a month. Now she makes $400 a month US after the inflation. So now when I come around and I offer her $2,000 US a month, our company is kind of the knight in shining armor and for the terms of the local employer. We're one of the top employers in the country. And now for the US company, you're getting someone that is like six-figure worthy, but you're getting them for about 30 grand. So yeah, the people are paid really good, and that's also why we've been told that we have, like, people don't believe it, an unbelievably low turnover, because in a call center environment, people expect year on year a churn of 30+% of the staff. So for every 10, you're replacing 3 at least a year. And like Daven said, the client is the problem most of the time. So like we've had very sales intensive campaigns where
they never realize it, but they are.
And so we've had sales intensive campaigns where the churn might be around 30%, but we've also had great customer service clients that we have one client that they have about 65 reps, and we replace less than 5 to 6 a year, so they have less than 10% turnover, which everyone tells me like it's unheard of and unbelievable in this industry.
Yeah, that's great. What I've found actually, and this was true with us too, is that contact centers in overseas countries build middle classes, which is really awesome. Yeah. Maury, thanks for sharing this with everyone.
Thank you, Daven.
Very valuable service. Thanks, amigo. Appreciate you.